Hey everyone, it's Courtney. It's a little cold, that's why I've got my jacket on. But today I am going to dive into that mini yarn haul that we were able to get yesterday, that we were able to do. I'm so excited. I had started working on a cowl for my husband's mom. If you were watching me last year, it's a bit of a full circle moment. So here's the beginnings of the cowl. As you can see, it's this lovely grape purple color. It's a bit of a full circle moment because if you guys remember me telling this story, I'm sorry, maybe skip ahead, but if you don't, I'm here to tell it again. I started working on this cute little cow amigurumi. It was actually one that my stepmom really liked, this cow pattern, so I was like, cool. The moms, they love the cows. What can I say? They love the cows, right? So I'm working on this cow. I know purple's her favorite color, and she sent me some purple yarn, and I'm using a little bit of the yarn in the cow, and I'm like, yeah, this is working great. And also those cows, if you do amigurumi, you know there's a lot of sewing involved, there's a lot of little pieces. So I'm trucking on the cow and I'm almost done, and my husband goes, why are you making that? And I was like, I'm making the cow, the grape cow that you said your mom wanted. And he said, I thought you said you were making her a cowl, the accessory. But fear not, friends, because this year we are actually making a grape colored cowl. I've added the purple colorway, the most deep purple colorway, to the cowl. Actually, the color that I started with is one of the Michaels brands, so I knew that since I wasn't planning on making an hour-long trip to drive to Michaels, that matching the color exactly probably wasn't going to be an option. But I do think that this amethyst purple is the closest of the yarn that we recently bought. I did buy 2 other shades of purple as well. Now we're gonna add the next color. I've just been watching some of Holly Anna's vlogmases as I'm working on this. And the next color is right here. It's this orchid colorway. Is not a project made with the new yarn. This is actually just the beginnings of a headband. I'm gonna do one of the little twists at the front, and maybe I could show you how I do that. Back to working on our grape cowl. Now it's time for some blocking. we've gotten the seamed. I pretty much just used the tails of each color, of each shade of purple, to seam along that shade. So I think that really helped it to not be quite so visible. Okay friends, I thought it would be fun if you packed this up with me, hung out with me while I packed this up. My gift for my mother-in-law contains obviously the cowl that you just saw, along with that white headband that I showed earlier, and the dishcloth that I showed when we were blocking. So I actually had the idea based off of the pattern photo for this awesome like dishcloth. Some dishcloths were wrapped up with like a really pretty looking ribbon, but like also rustic, like a really pretty and rustic looking ribbon. And I thought that this little bit of leftover sari yarn would be just perfect. Well everyone, our box is all packed. As you can see, I kind of had to do a jelly roll with the cowl, but I think it worked out. There's just one thing missing. Well, two things. First is some tissue paper, so I'm gonna do my best to, with one hand while I hold the phone, crinkle up some tissue paper and put it in the top to just keep everything from moving around, hopefully. Give it a nice festive appeal when the box is open. Clearly, I'm not the best at wrapping and sending gifts and decorating the presents and all of that, but I hope that they can tell it comes from the heart. That feels really good to have off my plate. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm pretty tired today. We had to wake up early this morning and drop my husband off at the airport, so we've just been cruising right on through. I think I'm glad though that I didn't make any more to add to the box, because I packed the box pretty full there. I mean, I did add a pretty solid layer of packing material at the bottom. If I would have added a couple more or even a few more dishcloths as I was thinking, probably not realistically thinking I would do, because I do still have other gifts to wrap and send off to other people in other places. Anyways, the perfect amount of presents I think is in this box. I hope that my mother-in-law appreciates it, and until next time, we will see you in the next one. Bye!